June 28, 1914. Two shots in Sarajevo. The world does not explode. It waits. For 30 days, Europe stands at the edge of war. Not in chaos, but in absolute calculation. Each capital watches the others. Each leader believes he can control what happens next. But the clock has started, and no one sees how fast it is ticking. Hi, I'm James. Welcome to Jim Repost, where we explore the real events that shaped the world. In today's episode, we uncover the final days before Europe collapsed into war. Austria-Hungary mourns the Archduke. Publicly, speeches speak of stability, but privately, military leaders speak of opportunity. They believe Serbia must be punished, not just for the assassination, for growing influence. But they hesitate, because if they strike Serbia, Russia may strike back, so they do not declare war, they consult Germany. The clock continues to tick. In Berlin, generals study maps. They believe a European war is inevitable, not because of Sarajevo, but because alliances have made peace fragile. Germany's fear is simple. Russia is growing stronger every year. If war comes later, Germany might lose. If war comes sooner, Germany might win. So when Austria asks for support, Germany gives it unconditional, no limits. Historians call it a blank check. In reality, it is permission to escalate. When Austria drafts its ultimatum to Serbia, it is not written to solve a crisis. Rather, it is written to corner an enemy. Every clause is measured, every demand severe. The goal is simple: force Serbia into a choice between humiliation and war. On July 23rd, the ultimatum is delivered. Serbia has 48 hours to respond. The clock is still ticking. Serbia responds carefully. It accepts most demands. It agrees to suppress nationalist groups and offers cooperation. But it refuses one key demand, and that is foreign investigators operating inside its borders. To Serbia, that means surrendering sovereignty. To Austria, that means refusal. Vienna declares the response insufficient. The window for diplomacy narrows. Russia watches the crisis unfold. If Serbia falls without resistance, Russia loses influence in the Balkans. If Russia mobilizes, Germany may mobilize in response. Russian leaders believe mobilization is a warning, not a declaration. But in 1914, mobilization is actually irreversible once begun. Race schedules activate, troops begin moving, but Germany interprets it as preparation for invasion. The clock does not pause. It continues to tick. On July 28, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Artillery begins firing across the Danube. Some leaders still believe it will remain a regional conflict, but they are wrong. Germany demands Russia halt mobilization, but Russia refuses. Germany declares war on Russia. The Schlieffen Plan is activated. Germany must now strike France quickly before turning east. But to reach France, German troops must march through Belgium. Remember, Belgium is neutral. Britain has guaranteed Belgian neutrality. Germany hopes Britain will hesitate, but it gambles. In August 4, 1914, the German forces entered Belgium. That single movement triggers Britain's decision. Britain declares war. The alliance system locks into place. Within 30 days of 2 gunshots, Europe is engulfed, not because one nation lost control, but because every nation believed it was acting defensively. The clock reaches 0. No leader declared, "We want a world war." Each spoke of defense, of honor, of alliance obligations, but together, their decisions created something none of them could control. 30 days, 30 opportunities to step back, not one taken. While the public waited for headlines, war rooms across Europe were active. Maps covered long wooden tables. Pins marked rail lines. Generals spoke in quiet but urgent tones. In Berlin, military planners reminded politicians of one thing: if we declare, we lose the advantage. In Vienna, officials feared losing control of the Balkans. In St. Petersburg, Russia, ministers warned, if we do nothing, we lose respect. No one said, we want war. They said, we cannot afford to look weak, and weakness in 1914 was more dangerous than violence. Across Europe, newspaper inflamed tension. Headlines blamed enemies. Cartoons mocked rival nations. Citizens read bold claims about honor and national pride. Crowds gathered in cafes discussing rumors. Yet, most ordinary people believed something reassuring. It will pass. They had seen crises before. Morocco crisis, the Balkans, threats that ended in negotiation. Few believed this one would be different. The illusion of control remained strong. Mobilization in 1914 was not symbolic. It was mechanical. Railway schedules were printed months in advance. Troops moved in waves. Once trains began transporting soldiers, halting them created chaos. Leaders discovered something terrifying. They had built a war machine so large that stopping it required more courage than starting it. And courage was in short supply. Every nation feared being the only one to stand down, so no one did. In the first days of August 1914, crowds cheered departing soldiers. Bands played music in train stations. Women waved handkerchiefs. Men promised to return before Christmas. No one imagined trenches stretching across France. No one imagined 4 years of artillery. No one imagined an entire generation erased. The tragedy was not that Europe wanted destruction. It was that Europe miscalculated. Every leader believed the war would be limited. None understood it would redefine the century. 30 days, 30 decisions, each one small enough to defend. When together, powerful enough to ignite the world, history would later ask, was war inevitable, or did fear make it so? Next episode, the first battle tests every assumption, and the illusion of a quick victory collapses.